Welcome to week 5 of the Inside Book Club. My thoughts in doing a book club like this were to review my book that I wrote 5 years ago and really get an understanding for what I was trying to do when I wrote this book, so that in preparation for writing my next book, I have this understanding of the importance of what I was trying to convey in that first book. So welcome to week 5. We're going to be here for a little bit, probably about 15 to 20 minutes. I hope you stay. We are jumping into sort of the middle of the book right now, but it is really all there for you here. I'm going to have all the weeks available to you. So catch up if you can. But of course, you can also read my book. That's another option. Okay. So this week, we're going to be talking about why self-care. What does consistent practice mean to a practice of self-care? Well, this is the thing, that when an event happens, like some level of trauma happens to us, and we don't feel safe in our body, in order to take care of ourselves, the ego goes to a place of protection. And usually that means that it will take us out of the here and now, because it is so scary, and allow us to go somewhere else. So in the terms that I use in my work, I see that as a real energetic leaving. That what happens is that when it's not safe to be here, out of the present moment. And so how do we do that? How do we get out of the present moment? Well, we get out of the present moment by any numbers of ways, right? We can just get busy with our life and never really drop into what we're experiencing in any given moment. We can do that through work. We can do that through conversations. We can do that through blame. We can do that. There are all sorts of distractions and ways we can get out of being here in the present moment. We can also do things like drugging and drinking and watching, streaming shows without any break. There's all sorts of ways we can do it. My question to you is, do you notice yourself so busy that you do not regard the present moment with any precedence? Interesting. Interesting. So if so, what do you think about this idea that coming into the present moment is the ultimate self-care? And how would we go about doing that? I want to bring to light that in this chapter, The Healing Journey, it starts with self-care. It's important to know, right, that awareness and self-care in healing from trauma, emphasizing gradual self-discovery and inner reflection, is something that we do consistently, not every here and now, because really we'll never know any level of success by doing that. It's about coming into a consistent practice of dropping into how our present moment fits into our life. So let's just get clear here on how trauma affects us. And that trauma, whether it is a physical trauma, an emotional trauma, a mental trauma, a spiritual trauma, that there is in any part of the elements of our life, right? Physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual, it affects every part of us. Let me say that again, that when there is a physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual trauma, that affects all aspects of our life, at a physical, at an emotional, at a mental, at a spiritual. I had an experience with this this week because yoga is a practice that I have done for most of my life, and I continue to do because it informs me so completely about my body. And as a 65-year-old woman, I am feeling things that I didn't feel 25 years ago, even 10 years ago, even a year ago. And what I've come to understand is that that kind of movement and breath relationship really heals me, really keeps things moving in a direction of health for me. But recently, I haven't been doing it as much. And I really committed this week to getting back to it and kind of investigating, because it was like, wow, I wonder if I kept up with this practice more consistently now, how I'd feel physically. So I started. So I have 2 days under my belt right now for this week. And I was just fascinated how so much came up through my practice. And what do I mean by that? I meant like I felt like these parts of my body, as I was opening up and experiencing my physical body, that I was opening up all other elements of my life too, that there were memories coming through, that there were ideas coming through, that there were dreams and reflections on conversations I had last week. Very, very interesting that all this information, just by opening up the body with breath and movement, that I started to have access to these other parts of my life. Really interesting. So this is the part of this chapter that feels like we really need to understand that there is a holistic journey, that we are not, even though we may be doing, let's say, a meditation with breath, and we're doing it consistently, we're going there every single day, right? That what we're doing is we're not just addressing through the breath the physical body, we are addressing all aspects of ourselves. And so this is like, consistent practice is like making these deposits into our life that allow us in small steps to start experiencing this coming back of our energetic being to the present moment. It's where we started, right? So we're actually wooing back this energy to the present moment so that we can heal holistically. When we don't have that ability to bring back that energetic aspect of ourselves, without that part of you there, you're not able to heal. You're not able to really heal. You may dance with healing. You may think it's like, okay, I feel great today, but tomorrow I feel shitty. You may have these experiences of up and down and up and down. And I tried, and then I didn't make it, and it didn't work, and I can't stay in consistent practice, and I'm shaming myself. You can see that all these elements start to happen because without the consistency, we do not heal holistically. So there's a chapter in my book where I talk about making deposits into your spiritual savings account. So if we make, if we, use that as an example, let's just talk about our bank account, right? So if we're not making consistent deposits into our bank account, then we don't have any money in the bank account, right? So when we go to take out money from the bank account, when we take a withdrawal from the bank account and deficit. So if we take that to like our personal journey, our healing journey, and each act of self-care could be walks in nature, it could be great rest, it could be nutrition, it could be consistent breathing practice, it could be anything, guided meditations, anything that you are doing consistently every day for yourself to help yourself get stronger, you're making a deposit. So when you go, let's just talk about what a withdrawal would look like, to your life. And we have them all the time, right? Right now, I'm having huge withdrawals just by watching the political um, climates of our world right now, just what we're experiencing here in the United States and also what we're experiencing as a world, just the extraordinary sadness and devastation. So if I did not have a lot of currency, self-care currency in that account, and I was making those kinds of withdrawals just by watching this on television or interacting with this out in my world, this could bring on great sadness, great reaction, very toxic interactions with my world. So the importance of making these self-care deposits becomes very important to the way we interact with our life and with our life with others. So this portion of my book I find to be really one of the most important sections because when we don't understand, that self-care is not a selfish act, um, it's only with an understanding that this is not only self-care is not only going to serve you, it is going to serve everyone in your precious world, that we can actually make progress with this, that it isn't just every once in a while, it's every day that we are prioritizing this ability to bring care to ourselves. That's when we see change. That's when things start to shift. That's when you recognize in yourself, not just because I'm saying it to you, you recognize in yourself that things are changing for you at a physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual level. And that's when everything starts to feel differently. Thank you.